What's up, guys? How's it going? MikeTheTech here, and welcome to another PlayCanvas tutorial. If you want more tutorials like this, be sure to click on that like and sub button below. Let's go ahead and get started. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to delete some of these items I had created before and add something new to our game and work with a bit of textures and material work as well. So let's go ahead and add a new object to our scene. We're going to add a primitive box. Why not? So let's add this box up here. Great. So now we have a box. Let's make it about half as big because it's a little bit large for my liking. So make it 0.5 on the scales. And now we can apply a texture or material to this box. We haven't created a material, so if we click on material here, it's going to give us only the ones that were already created. And we could try some of those and see what platform looks like. That actually looks really nice. So we'd be able to use the platform material to work as our box. But let's go ahead and make it a little bit more customized from the environment itself. So let's right click on platform and duplicate it. And we're going to name this box. So that's material for our box. Now we're going to drag this material onto our box and make sure that it's selected here. Great. Now we can open up the material and we can make changes to it. So we can see that our diffuse here is the actual color of the box itself. If we change the diffuse tint, it's not going to change here, but if we removed the texture, you would see that it's changing the color of the box itself. But what we can do is we can choose that texture again, and we can use tint to actually change the color of the box completely and make it look more brown, for example, so it stands out from its environment. So we can tint the box a different color. That's really useful. We can also make it metallic if we wanted to, and we can change how metallic it is and how glossy it is. So if I made it really metallic and very glossy, you can see it kind of changes the way the material looks. I kind of like it all glossy. And then emissive will actually make it radiate light, essentially. It makes it kind of bright. So that'll make light show up off of it. It's not super useful, but it can be nice to add this and then adjust this parameter in game so that it's kind of like an item is flashing, letting the player know it's important. So that's where that can come in pretty useful. Opacity will make an object invisible. So you can change how visible an object is. Right now we can't see the background below it, but if we change this to alpha and change the intensity, we can make this a hidden box. So now this is a slightly transparent box. That can be also very useful. We also have a few other options here which are a little bit more advanced. If you're used to using textures in 3D programs, you may be familiar with bump mapping or normal maps. This will help add depth or perceived depth to your materials. You can apply those here by using normals and just choosing the normal map that you exported from whatever program you use to make your materials. You can also change the offset and tiling in case this doesn't quite fit right. We can offset it, for example. If I wanted the lines to be in the middle, give it a different look, or I could change it back to 0 and then make it upwards a little bit, or maybe even a little bit of both. And that can change the look of an item completely. So I actually like that, so I'm going to change it to 0.5 on both of them. Yeah, that's a nice little box. And then tiling is how many are the size of your texture, basically. So it stretches stretches it out, or it makes it smaller. So we can have multiple. So if I left this at -2, for example, this one 2, then I would have 4. So it changes how wide your texture is. This is very useful for like environments where if you're putting a grass texture down but it's really stretched, you can use tiling and offsetting to put it back down to the actual size that it needs to be in your environment. So now that we have a box, what can we do with it? Let's drag it over here, and it'll be our first little obstacle that our player has to get through. To make it interactable, we need to add some physics to it. So let's add a component, and we're going to use a rigid body, and we're going to make it dynamic. And this is going to give it some mass. We talked about mass in an earlier video, I believe. And then I'm going to rotate it. Kind of like that. Just to make sure that it falls and reacts accordingly. So let's see if it even works yet. Hint, it's not. All right, so not yet. So now what we need to do is add a collider to it and adjust that collider size to the size of the box. So I believe this is going to be 0.25. Yeah, that looks right. All right, great. Let's try this out. Perfect. So now the box falls realistically. Can we run into it? Yep, we can run into it and push it around. Great. So now we have a box. We can bring in multiple boxes if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and make this a template. And let's drag one in. Okay, so unfortunately it saved it in the rotated form, so I could show you how to fix that. We can actually go to rotation and change these all to 0. And now it's flat again. We're going to right click on our template and go to template and then apply to template. And now when we drag one in, it's actually going to be oriented properly. So let's bring this up so we can actually use it in game. All right, so I'm going to place a couple of these boxes right here. All right, that should be good enough if I hit play. Now we have a wall of boxes we need to get through. So let's try it out. And yep, we can push them out of the way. And then we can go and continue with our jump. Don't fall, I fell. But yeah, so now we've dealt with a little bit of materials and added some more physics objects to our game. Let me know what you want to see in the next video, and I'll get on working that for the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Peace.
What? You've never heard of stream savers? And you thought PewDiePie was the only YouTuber to make a game? I made a game too, and it's called Stream Savers, and it's available for pre-order right now for $9.99, and that's a great price.